to you by that weird feeling that you're carrying with you that we might just be at the edge of extinction of the human race. And now, here's a song. Under the bridge downtown, where I spilled some blood under the bridge downtown, I could not get enough. Hey, yeah, yeah. And now, here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. Well, hey, everybody. What a cheery start for what a cheery day. Let's smoke a thing if you got a thing to smoke, if that's your thing. I've been told that it means more if I look you in your eyes when I do it. Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. Were you here for yesterday's program? If you were, we'll talk about why I and anyone you know on the West Coast of the United States is very glad to be back right now. Tomorrow is a day that I'm going to be here alone because that's Wednesday and I know it. I'm really good at keeping the days separated. But I meant what I was going to say to you is that Thursday, I'm going to be here with Esperanza Turvalon Garrett. Esperanza is the director and founder of Dancing Hearts Consulting, and I'm hoping that this conversation is going to happen. I swear to God, it's not a gag. We did the thing where you know I've talked to you about Esperanza being here several times, and she was scheduled once, and then we did a thing where we did a gag about, Esperanza's going to be here for like a week every day, and she wasn't really here. And she's been scheduled to be here Thursday for like a month. Here's what's happening, though, and why all of the West Coast. Well, you know what? Let's thank some people first. Shout out to our folks at Bloom Dispensary. Thanks. Appreciate it. It's perps that I'm smoking today. I think I'm on a Dolo smoke. That's not a new situation for us, and we'll get into some of why that is when we get there. Do you have yourself a warm bevy or your bevy of choice? You don't want something warm because you don't want to sweat during the last days? That's fine. I don't think it matters. I don't know if anything matters. We're doing our best. How you doing? Are you doing okay? You doing all right? You got something to eat today? Are you safe in your house? That's one of the things that is true. Many of us on the West Coast of the U.S. are not safe in our homes right now. And it's not just the white supremacists or the COVID anymore. Now it's fire season. And in particular in the Bay Area and up over near Eugene, in Oregon, there are two of them that have the sky looking not purple, but orange. So Prince was just a wee bit off, but he had a palette, and someone's painting the sky for us, and maybe we should have just swept the forest floors as the president suggested last year. What a dumb shit. So there was not much sleep happening in a lot of the Bay, not the Bay, I'm not in the Bay, in a lot of Oregon yesterday. In here, I went to bed early. I took a melatonin, had a Tony in my mouth, had a little bit of Tony in my mouth, and went to sleeps to try to sleep off the apocalypse and see what I could do with that. And it worked out well. I did that because the power went out, and I was pretty sure we were only a couple of seconds from it being time for there to be a cleansing of the races. So I woke up and that didn't happen. So yay, everybody! That's the bestest. That's the best. It's a strange time. Another thing that does make it a strange time for me right now, two things. One, I have a surrogate uncle, Lee Steiner, who passed a couple of months ago, but we learned about it. My family learned about it day before yesterday, and that was weird because we've known Lee for his entire life. He was a surrogate uncle of mine, as I said, and come to find out, Lee has a son. That was not information that we knew in the 40 years that plus years. Well, for my 40 plus years that I knew him, my father had known him for 20 before that. And Lee is the sort of fellow that son could be anywhere between 53 and 3. And we have no idea who this person is. So my condolences to whoever you are, and rest in power to my Uncle Lee. This has gotten weird, so I'm going to bring on the guest I'm bringing under the philosopher's tree today. This person is somebody that I have had the opportunity to know by two names. I actually was present and witness to the one that you're going to meet being born. And I met him when he was a long hair and a bit of a freak show. I was a bit of a freak show myself. So we'll get into a little bit of what that looked like. Please welcome, let me make sure I got the right button. I got the button here under the philosopher's tree. My folks, Tres Manos. Welcome, Tres Manos.
Hey, how's it going, man? Nice. Thanks for having me down.
Absolutely. What was so cool is that you couldn't hear the applause, but it looked so cool. It looked like you could just because of the way you were adjusting. It was very
Criticism, I'm always hearing the applause.
I'm sure that you are. If nothing else, it's ringing in your like tinnitus at this point. Jesus, this is wild. You look fan-fucking-tastic. Let me start with that. I'm going to say that.
As you, man.
You have.
I mean,
talk to me. I look beautiful. Go ahead. I'll let you say it.
it's been what, 20 years since we physically hung out, more or less. Maybe I think we had a little one in San Francisco about maybe 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I think you look better.
Well,
I think it's like, you know,
you've certainly aged up. I mean, something for the late bloomers. Cheers to the late bloomers. And you know, you coming out looking like an international supermodel. I don't know where you get off having that thick hair. Go fuck yourself. But it's wonderful to see you.
Yeah. I did try to grow out a mustache over COVID season.
How'd that go?
Hilarious. I had a full, like, you know, Mexican handlebars thing going on there. And I just let it go. Just let that ride for a little while. It was amazing.
Oh my God. I want to see photos so badly.
They posted one. A friend of mine did like this thing of me playing the guitar out on the balcony. And it got so much traction that she submitted to some competition for like what's going on in balconies.
That was actually your mustache?
That was my real mustache. And they printed it. They like did a big like banner of it. Now it's sitting in the park in Ciutadella here in Barcelona for like the last 2 months.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I got more traction with the mustache than ever, so might have to grow it back. But let's see.
So you're in Barcelona?
I'm in Barcelona, man.
I thought you were in Ibiza for some reason. I don't know why. How long have you been out there?
I've bounced between here and Ibiza the last 5-6 years regularly, and then but I've been here since '98, so 20 plus years, 22 years.
Yeah, that is some time. That is some time. Yeah. Well, let's walk it back. I mean, you were in good enough health to make that kind of a decision, which, given how we met, knew each other, is something of a miracle. I think that's one of the awesome things about seeing anybody that we knew commonly during the age that we were young. So I remember meeting you in a place that we both referred to as the House of Sin, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, in Boulder with Maddie and Bridget. And everyone else who came, and me, that was obsessed with that video camera. So I have tons of, I must have it at my mom's house, like tons of video of like I think I have it when you and Rob met, like our old friend
Yep.
Rob, who lives in San Francisco,
Yep.
and like and obviously tons of debauchery that we got into back then, and just kept it on like reality TV before reality TV was the thing.
Yeah, the self-documentarian,
Yeah, you gotta look back.
self-anthropologist life that we were doing.
Yeah,
And
man, that would be interesting to watch the makings of, or maybe not.
or maybe so. I'm sure that the first forays out into it sounded fantastic. I'm sure it was exact. You'd feel proud now. You'd
Yeah,
feel
I'm sure the
proud.
memories would be exactly like I remember them.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, really good times. Really good times. I do remember in particular there was one morning, ish, that we all sort of woke up strewn around the house of sin, and realized that what we had taken was not what we thought, and we had all roofied ourselves, and had to go up to Dots to. You remember that? That was
That was
fun.
with Sharky and Swan. I mean,
Yeah,
those are two you shouldn't be trusting into your house right out of the bat. And we took them in like, nice, come on in, two guys from Chicago that we never met before. Let's all hang out for the next couple weeks
let's. Well,
and
sure, we'll
try.
take these blue pills.
The best
Why
is that
wouldn't we?
everyone just woke up in the same place that they were when they last. They were just hanging out. Everyone still woke
It
up
was
like there was.
horrible.
It was like Pompeii, like
Yeah.
lava just landed. Everyone just ended up there in stone.
I remember watching people falling out one by one, and I realized that I was next, and I was like, "Oh fuck me! No way! This didn't just happen." And I was like, "Wait, what? What? What?" Oh, and that was just it. That was it. And then it was morning time.
It's
Good
so fun.
times. Good
God, dude, that,
times.
that- yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
times.
No, they were times. They were times.
They were
I
definitely times.
I got to see the I think help refresh my memory now. The perhaps the birth of Tres Manos ish. I remember the debate of the name. I do remember that. But was this not happening in your apartment on the hill? I think it was an underground. I remember when you were getting ready to move because I went down there and you were practicing a set.
Exactly. I remember I lived. Oh God, man, I lived in a bunch of places back then.
Yeah, you
No,
did.
I
Because you lived
ended up
upstairs
living.
on the hill someplace, and then there was a basement
Yes,
someplace.
exactly. It was a place in the basement that I had before I. It was when I lived right before I lived on the hill. I lived on somewhere a couple streets down. Everything was still in
Okay.
that neighborhood,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I remember that place was amazing actually because one time, I mean, it was like a half basement, so my window was up here, and
Hmm.
and I remember a friend of mine who's like a great actor now in New York, but he was a painter back when I knew him in high school. He came out to visit, and he had brought his cat, and he totally changed up scene. He was totally like jumping on trains, like traveling around, like stowing away on trains with his girlfriend that he had at the time with his cats. He was totally just like a traveler. And he came through and was like, "Yeah, can I stay with you for a bit?" And he did. And I was like, "Yeah, of course, man. Whatever. We're all hippies." And he basically stayed over and camped out on my lawn. And he had a cat named Belino, and the cat ran away like after the first day. I don't know if you know the story. So the
Dude, I
cat ran.
remember this. I remember the guy. I don't know the story about the cat. So what happened?
So the cat ran away, and he was like, "Oh, that sucks." Like we're like, "Okay," and he's like, "Well, hopefully he'll come back." And like maybe like a week later, we're sitting there. I'm like taking a nap, and he's like hanging out by the decks, and I just look up, and him and his girlfriend are looking out the window with their mouths open, and turn around, and right above me in the window, there's a mountain lion looking into my window with its mouth open, like, and we're like,
Jesus.
what the hell? And it was like right behind this thin, cheap glass, of course, and right there, and I was like, the fuck? And I look around right behind, and Belino the cat's with him, and they both just ran off together. Like, I made a new friend in the mountains, and I came back to check out. Look, this is my old crew, and they just took off. And like all the neighbors had seen, like reported this wildcat, like bobcat coming through town, and
Holy shit.
then 2 weeks later, there was a cat at Cecily's old place, my ex-girlfriend's old place,
Uh huh.
and where I later on moved in, and they just taken a stray cat, and it was the same stray cat, like he's just been bouncing around on like adventures. It was like a Disney movie.
That
Yeah,
is,
man.
Bellino's the perfect name for the Disney movie cat, though, for real.
Billy is a great Disney movie cat
Do
name.
you know
It's
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah,
That's
completely.
insane.
I mean, who names their cat Bellino?
Listen, I had a cat named Pie Wacket. I inherited it, so I didn't name it that. But
Yeah, that's
you
cat
name a
names. What
cat magic
what
things,
naming?
it's gonna cause you
What are you gonna
issues.
Bellino or that? What was it? Pie Wacket?
Yeah, yeah, like a magical cat name.
Nice. Cool,
Yeah, she
man.
was cool. She was cool. Holy shit! All right, so I
So
remember
yeah,
being up there.
the witnessing of that, I basically became Tres Manos in '92.
Okay, so all right, yes, so
Yeah.
that definitely was right around then.
Yeah, they were booking me for a rave, and I think I was out of town, and I think I actually went to see my family in Bolivia or something like that. And they wrote me, they're like, "Yeah, we finally booked you for this rave. We want you to play with Josh Wink, this other big DJ." And they're like, "Well, we don't know what your DJ name is because you've just been playing at like house parties this whole time." And they wanted to name me B. They were like, "We put on the flyer B hyphen Rad." Can you imagine
Dude,
how nice is
ugh,
that? B
that's
Rad. And I was like, no, guys, I think I might have a better name than that. And then that happened at last minute, and then I just got stuck with that for the last almost 30 years.
that's how it goes.
Yeah,
That's how it
man.
goes. Anybody who I know peripherally or who I know primarily from music knows me only as Los or Brother Los. Like I only hear that from folks, you know. And in the Bay, I can also kind of tell where I know people from
Oh, completely.
because I know, right? Like if I'm with anybody from the Bay and somebody says Carlos, they will whip their heads around like somebody just called me a curse word. They're like, wait, what? Nuh-uh, that's Los. Don't do that. And
Exactly.
yeah, is really wild. It's really wild. So it has been
Yeah.
such a treat to get to see you do all the shit that you're doing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The
Okay.
other thing that though I do want to talk about, or I don't know, confess, share, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. Um, Certainly in those days, your what would now by the youngs be
Yeah.
referred to as gender expression was as fluid and flexible as me own. And there
Yeah.
were a few dudes, as we would have called them in the 90s, around us for
Yeah.
whom that applied. And coming from where you came from and to the moment that we met each other, how did you find, did you, first of all, did you even have a choice in terms of looking for a freedom in that way? Or was it just like, fuck it, this is just what it is and I'm here and it is what it is?
I mean, I guess, obviously, I came from a Latino family, so there's a certain stigma naturally ingrained there, especially in that time
Right.
period. But my sister was ridiculously open about drug usage, party, and expression, and she always pushed me to kind of be a bit of a weirdo.
So
Whereas my brother
that
was,
was an older
yeah,
sister?
exactly, older sister, yeah, she
Okay.
passed away a long time ago. And
Oh, oh God, Jesus, I remember this now. Ah,
yeah, that was long ages ago.
yeah,
And my brother was the opposite. My brother was like like the Alex P. Keaton of the Family Ties reference, like that kind of vibe. And he still is. I mean, and he's awesome. And he's got his, everything put together and the best kids ever, like everything.
right,
And so I
right.
had contrast. So I made like basically learn to make a business out of party and be able to express and to be super open with all of our friends of every nationality. I mean, I grew up in DC anyway, so it was a big mixed bag to start with. And you were
Okay,
exposed to, I was exposed to transsexuals and transvestites when I was 16, trying to go to a club called Trax, which was the only place that would let us go in to drink illegally at that age.
right,
But in the worst part of town, I think it was in southeast, northeast DC,
right.
and it was a gay club, and Thursdays was straight night. So straight night, you can just go, and it was just insane. I remember this super tall black woman in drag with just black and white stripes coming up to me, and me being exposed to her for the first time, being like, and her being like, "Hey, baby," and not having
Right.
any idea how to react to this, and
They
and
could
then the
spot
first,
they could spot somebody who doesn't know what's going on a
oh,
mile away. They're just like, I'm fucking with this one.
yeah, exactly, and then you just normalize. I mean, that place was insane, also
Yeah.
back in the. I mean, I remember I mean, DC was the murder capital of the world at that time period as well.
Right.
Um, and I remember they closed. There was two dance floors. One was like a new wave, and the other one was kind of like techno-y kind of thing. And and I remember they closed the new wave dance floor for a little while, one night, and no one knew why. So the other one was just rammed with double the capacity it could normally take. And then like an hour and a half later, they just opened it back up, and it turns out that somebody got stabbed on the dance floor. And then they called the police, and no one ever came. So they were just like, well, we got to open this dance floor back up. So they just took the body, put it in a closet, mopped up the blood, and opened it back up. I mean, it was like, well, so yeah, so being a little bit liberal and like in Boulder, which is like the most like homogenous place ever in a way, and
even the snow is white.
I mean, there was no way we were gonna be not, I mean, we were the openest cats there, like right out of the gate.
Yeah, no,
and Swan and Sharky to our house, you know what I mean? Hey
amongst
guys,
others.
yeah, you're with us. You don't even have real names. Let's do this.
Oh, so many shady dudes.
Oh man,
so many shady dudes. Like ugh. Who knows who could be watching right now? So I'm not gonna name names, but like things went sideways on the way out of Boulder. It was everything around what happened at Espresso Roma, that whole area, it just got really, it got funky.
Dude, that's kind of like my neighborhood is like now. Still,
is it?
Like I always throw myself into the center. Like I live right off like Plaza Real, like by like off Ramblas in the center downtown Gothic area of town.
Okay.
Like where everything happens. It's like the most criminal, like pickpockety area, drug dealers, guys selling beers on the streets at all hours of the night. And if I didn't have those guys selling beers downstairs, I don't know what I would have done.
Right.
Like,
right.
They're my dudes, like, you know what I mean? They know everything that goes on in my flat. And
do you remember that dude Craig at the school, that white dude who'd stand out in his little cutoff shorts and just scream politics at people in the fountain?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't remember his name was Craig, but I definitely remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I knew his name was Craig because that was my buddy.
Yeah, if he was a bit political and ranting, he was probably your buddy.
He was my buddy. He was my buddy. Yeah, when he would talk about the techno penis and the bourgeois vagina, and that the kids were simply the product of that, and that they didn't know what was going on and what was about to come down, and damned if he wasn't right. Damned if he. Hey, how you surviving the pandy? How you enjoying your first apocalypse? How's this going for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm in the music industry, and it made us really, like, everyone I know, just we went from like full on to like zero instantly, and it was like it made just really obvious how, in a way, insignificant what we do, or insignificant what we do is, because it was the first thing to go and probably be the last thing to come back. You know, like, oh, public gatherings and entertainment, yeah, we're good. Netflix, that's still happening, so we don't really need you guys. And it was just done, and we just built up all this brand and stuff that we've been doing with my friend David's label to do our first parties in Ibiza this year. You know, which is not easy to get, like a real proper place at a big club.
Right.
And we finally built up that, and of course that was, I mean, we were supposed to do the first party last week, or the second party last week, and just being out there. I just came back from there, and being out there was just a bit depressing. There was nothing all season.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. A ghost town. Barcelona's a ghost town. My neighborhood's a ghost town.
I mean,
and
good,
so, like,
right? Because I want people to survive, and I want to get through the other end of this. But no, as an artist, it's
yeah, it's hard.
It's soul crushing.
But somehow I kind of like the reset.
Okay.
Like I think things were getting a little bit hedonistic, you know, if I say so myself, and being a hedonist, and but it was just getting a little out of hand, you know, and I think it's a good time for a reset. And I mean, not to sound horrible, I think some of the effects of it, you know, even the loss of life and things just have to happen. I mean, we live forever now, you know, it's like it's not natural either. I'm not saying we need to thin the population too much, but maybe it's kind of an issue that we are overpopulated, you know, and for the environment, for the world, all this stuff. And while as far as music industry goes, I think it's been a reset for most everyone I know in the industry, including myself. My partner and I just put out an ambient album.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he got really into ambient. We started a new project as just kind of like a whole new idea. It's called Jessica Saves. That's doing more like a techno thing, which I've always been a house guy. So just kind of a techno offshoot. And the idea is not to do it, not to really do it as a DJ thing, but just doing a live production set, which
Oh,
I would
okay.
never put myself into because it takes a lot of time and it's a bit scary,
Right.
And so we're just, with no computers, just straight hardware, which I've also never done, and uh, and it's just been a challenge, and because we have some time to do it,
Yeah.
it's been like a good time to throw myself into something new. I don't have to perform during the weekend, so I have those weekends to kind of, you know, figure out what we're gonna do and make it interesting.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are going through that. I'm seeing a bunch of people doing different projects and giving less of a shit about their name. I mean, we're doing an EP now with a bunch of different names that are just us as well, and not like sticking to just being Tres Manos forever. Now
Hmm.
we got a name called what are the other names? DJ What's His Face, Tupac Shakur, Your Only Friends, the one I've been doing for a while, and Jessica Saves. So it's just
Nice.
like, yeah, let's do a bunch of stuff, throw a bunch of shit at the fan and see what sticks, and like or at the wall and see what sticks. Not at the
Yeah.
fan.
There's enough of that. Everybody seems to have their own fascists to just take care of that for us. We don't need to do it.
Yeah, I can't believe there's still so much horrible shit going on despite of COVID. Don't people stay home? Don't fucking hate each other or kill each other for a little while. Like, relax.
I was talking about this before because it's like it is so impressive to me. And it's not, I mean, it's not the greatest skill to have, but it's a skill that culturally people who are willing to identify themselves as white anywhere on the planet seem
Yeah,
to have this innate ability to do their racisms no matter what the fuck is happening.
yeah.
No matter, I
I
mean,
mean,
they'll do it on the way down on a ride. They'll start flashing their little signs. They'll do like anywhere, anywhere. What are we doing? Can I get some racism in here? I bet I can. I bet I can squeeze some extra.
well, I mean, obviously the whole thing that's happening in the States, just the leaderships obviously made it okay. It's just normalized the hell out of it, and everyone just jumped on that, and it's natural. I mean, people are followers or people are leaders. You know what I mean?
You
And
are
there's,
flying fast and loose with the word leader, but I do hear the sentiment. I
you know
do
what I
know
mean?
what you're
But
saying.
in that sense, he's a leader for. I mean, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got to give it to him. I mean, I mean, come on. Look, obviously, I have no love for the con, but dude, the guy is the best con artist ever. I mean,
It's
he's right
true.
up with the guy who sold the Eiffel Tower for parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No, I'm looking forward to the Citizen Kane film treatment of his life. I'm just like
yeah,
this dude's bananas.
what is going on? Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be nuts. Yeah, I can't wait for the movie.
I hope it's good. I hope we get to live that long. I hope
I
we get to
hope.
live that long.
Yeah, man.
How is it out there? How's the politics and the white nationalism that's on the rise globally? How you living?
Well, it's not so much white nationalism here. It's definitely nationalism, though. I mean, a separatism, I guess,
Okay.
would be the word. And it's not so much as a racially infused thing as it is, but it is immigration. You know, the thing with the states is racially infused because it's been deeply. I mean, the U.S. is a land of immigrants, despite what the white Europeans think. It's like the real ones look like this. You
Right.
know,
Right.
uh, and so here it's like everyone trying to get like Catalonia. Actually, on Friday is the National Catalonia Day, and it always becomes it gets a bit Nazi Germany style or Nazi yeah Germany style here with like flags and children who are totally indoctrinated with this like Visca Catalunya thing going on,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it gets trippy when, I mean, the first time I experienced it, I was riding my bike and this kid jumped in front of my thing, was like, Visca Catalunya! And it just was like, do you even know what you're talking about? Like,
Right.
it's just, and it's a bit much. But here it's been weird because there's been like with any big global crisis, rights get stripped away for your safety. You know, after 9/11, big thing like this, we need to make sure what's going on in your phones for your safety, and we need to be able to tap everything for your safety. And then they give it back. Then they're like, okay, well, we can stop doing that now, but they never give back all those rights. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And here, things like places like Ibiza, where there are like people trying to gather, of course, because everyone goes there for a party, you know, and there's a big crew there who goes there with tons of money, who can do whatever they want most of the time, anywhere, anyways. Um, they're still continuing on, and they're like making brooding grounds for COVID, essentially, at these villa parties. So the police now have the right to go in with no warrant. They also can geo-track, so if they're seeing tons of little blips in one place, it's obvious that they're doing something there, and they can just go right into the house.
Yeah.
And these rights that you should still have
Yeah.
are just taken away for your good. And whenever that happens, it's just people give them away with, yes, please take care of us. I don't want to deal with it, and not realizing that they're never going to get all those rights back. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing now, all over the world.
Well, so where do you sit then with the compromise around what that means, right? Because you do the same things in terms of gathering folks, right? It's about building communities, about gathering folks, bringing folks in, getting paid, all of those things. And as we're doing that, I'm looking at what's happening, for instance, with the rallies that are happening here, and you're talking about what's happening there, and even talked about it as a super spreader event. That's how they're framing it here, right? When you have that many people show up someplace.
I mean,
and so if that's happening, what do we do then about these Ty Forward Mary motherfuckers who are like going to these things? And because the germs aren't going to stay on the rich people.
no, and they're not gonna. I don't know, man. The thing is with this whole thing that's freaked me out is that everybody has an opinion, or everybody knows something that they heard somewhere. But it's so easy to spread news nowadays from any channel, that could be true or not true, within 3 degrees of verification.
Right.
Because there's 3 other channels that are going to verify your bullshit story. So who the hell knows? And everything's changing constantly. We don't know how. Is it super spreadable? Is it not making you sick? Are you going to die if you get it? Are you not dying anymore? So it's kind of okay. Is everyone already got it? Or...
Well, here we're very clear here, because I mean, there's just freezers full of bodies. I mean, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We see the trucks full, and it's not
visible there. I mean,
I'm dead serious. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. I mean, and there's nobody in the United States that I know who doesn't know somebody who's either had it or died from it within, I'm going to say, 4 degrees.
Wow.
So we're down to about 4 degrees now. And I'll grant you, we're the most disgusting, filthy nation in the world. Again, partly because of the leadership and the refusal, right, to wash hands, right? Yeah. The idea that this is news for folks of European descent, that bathing would take care of so many germs. That's upsetting. But that we are all on the same page. Now, that would be good, except that in this country, it became a political issue and a wedge issue. So now people are literally running around not washing their hands and running around without their mask holes just in defiance. But I know it's not just happening here, because there was that giant march against, now that we don't have to be locked down, we don't want to wear masks happening in Germany or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. There's anti-masker scene here as well. And the anti-mask thing happened in 1918? I keep getting mixed up now.
Yeah, 1918. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting mixed up because asshole keeps saying some other date.
Because he keeps saying 1917 and fucking everything up. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? That's not...
He's ridiculous. So, I mean, then they had an anti-mask thing as well. They had protests. I mean, guys, it's like, it's not that big of a deal to wear a mask. And whether it's right or wrong, the Asians have been doing it for ages when they're sick, and it's not a matter of being right or wrong or being trapped. It's a matter of thinking on the bigger picture. Thinking of your neighbor, thinking of their mom or grandparents or this kind of shit. And yeah, of course, it's pathetic. The world's quite selfish in this kind of stuff, and it's sad to see. It sucks because I mean, half the businesses in my neighborhood are gone. I mean, it's like this place is still open, vacant for sale, just closed down, blah blah blah. And all small businesses are getting all that money is getting redistributed to the landlords, and then that's going directly to the banks, and then that's going to corporate larger
Oh, the
companies.
Lakers got the biggest share of the recovery money that was supposed to go out here, and for that second round of recovery money that was supposed to go to artists, I know a playwright who got paid out. I don't know anybody else who got paid. I don't know anybody else who got paid.
Yeah, I mean, in Germany they took care of everyone. I mean, within the first couple weeks, like people were getting checks for 5,000 euros. Like, I mean, DJs are just like everyone's getting checks, boom, 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 like no problemo.
Yeah,
Here was
see,
a lot less because there's no economy here like in other places. In the States, what really messes me up about the whole thing is that we've been capitalist for what? I don't even know, for ages now, right? For a good while. That's been like that's been what works.
theoretically, that's what they tell us. Yeah.
And so in 3 months we're out of money. Like it's like 3 months, everybody's like, "Oh, sorry guys, we're gonna have to can't really help much longer than that."
Well, and that's where it shows up, right? That we're not the capitalists.
Yeah.
Right? That's where very suddenly it's like, no. We're consumers. We're the capital.
Yeah, exactly.
They are capitalists. We don't have any capital. What land do you have? What workers do you have?
That's it, man.
Show me your factory.
I mean, all due respect for everyone being there still, it's just, I'm really glad I left the States when I did.
Well, we can't leave the States now. We're here.
Yeah.
This is it. Nobody else wants us anymore. This is like all the bougie blacks and all the special kids we're talking about. Get your passport. Got to get your passport. Get your passport. See the world. Got your passport. Fuck you. It's nothing. Yeah. I was traveling so much that I had to get that like special thing that I could just walk through the airport or whatever, the extra $80 or $180 a year, whatever it is. In the air. And not to mention the jobs, right, as you were talking about, but I mean anybody who had any level of as you were talking about, right? Like I was supposed to be recording an album a month ago, doing the first comedy album, and like we'll see. How the fuck do you do that now?
Yeah, exactly.
What am I supposed to do? I'm doing it, but like who wants a record of fucking jokes into a microphone with no? What is that?
No.
It's
rough, dude. Everything's weird.
It's different.
This is weird. I mean, for us, this is definitely a weird one. But I gotta say, I'm glad it happened when I'm in my 40s and not when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we had a good time.
We had a great time.
And it was also just a different world completely. You know,
we had our great time. Everybody else's great time.
It is. I mean, I do not regret anything about the time I was born and all the stuff that's happened. Right now is just a 1 year break, reset.
You're on the side of the world that maybe gets a year. I'm looking at like, okay, 2 years. We'll get back out.
Kind of like raving again. They're like doing festivals in Wuhan. Do you see that?
No, I did not. That's upsetting.
They're doing like massive concert with thousands of people, like no masks, nothing. It's done.
Dude, no.
Full on, like no one goes in or out of China, but they're done. That's done. That's just over. You know what I mean? And obviously, if we follow the same guidelines, I mean, if they ain't broke, copy.
What's happening in New Zealand now? Are they back out?
I think New Zealand had another outbreak, didn't they? So they closed things down again. A small one, yeah. But that's all it takes, apparently. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the only way it's really going to work is everyone just kind of. I mean, it sucks, but it's kind of be locked down for a while. Like as far as borders, everyone needs to get their shit together and then see what's going on, and then wait till everyone else does.
Yeah.
You know, because with all this mixing, just makes it like you can't control. Come on, you can't control that at all.
Well, and if Wuhan's back up partying, then I think we need to lobby to make it official that it is no longer at all anything like the Wuhan virus. It's just the Trump's mumps.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Trump's mumps, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, he's the one spreading it around. He's the one spreading it around. Um, so you're surviving. You've been in. How long were you on lockdown? Lockdown?
I mean, we had March, mid-March,
Mm-hmm.
all of April, May, all of May. Jesus, really? And then
Yeah.
like June, they started de-escalating it.
Okay.
Uh, and then by the end of June, we I played my first gig again at a little bar, and
Nice.
then everything got locked down a bit like, again because they started to see the numbers rise. And they're like, okay, that was too soon. We need to chill this out. And so now it's like cool. You can go to restaurants. Everything's kind of back to normal. Not a lot of people out. Everyone's in masks.
Yeah.
It's like a futuristic movie, man. And you know, and
Yep. It's like living in a Ray Bradbury story. It's just like, what is
it,
happening right now?
it's trippy, man. It's like, and you just forget that it's actually not. That's not normal. And I see everyone with masks, and once in a while, it just kind of flashes into my head like, this is surreal. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just,
Oh, it's
everyone's in.
wild. Trying to
Like,
convince my child to like, just like, hey, I don't know. This is
yeah.
just this is what it is, and
How
this
old's your
is
kid?
normal. Sophia just turned 11.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
turned
So
11.
she's aware of what's going on. Like, gets it.
Oh,
It's like,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
no. There's a generation. I was talking about this yesterday. I mean, there's a generation that I'm really curious what the weird shit is that they're going to pick up from this, right? The same way that the Depression era folks and like our parents and grandparents had like just storerooms of fucking canned food. Like what, which, wow,
What is it?
what are they, just masks in their pockets all the time
Yeah.
or hand
Well,
sanitizer?
exactly. Well, that's another thing I was thinking is like everyone's going to be a bit more conscious about the germs because now we realize that it's like, I mean, we knew they're
I
everywhere before,
hope.
but they're everywhere. You know, it's like you got to be real conscious. I've always been a bit of a hand cleaner. Like I'm always a bit conscious about that. It's been like a thing of mine. But that comes from being a germaphobe when I was, and also OCD when I was younger, and just a bit manic about these things. So when this is happening, I was like, oh, that's no problem.
Yeah.
You know,
You had
I
OCD?
sooner or later.
We're winning. When did you? So you had OCD?
I was a bit OCD, yeah, man. I was like, I just a bit, yeah, manic about keeping things. I mean, even now, I just realized I was straightening out my glass in the phone just a second ago, and it's not bad, but just like little, you know, little
Smaller
things,
things now.
yeah. And
Did it
now,
used to
now, it's,
interfere with your shit?
now it's not a big deal, huh?
Did it used
Well,
to
no,
interfere with you?
it made it made things take way longer than they should,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and I've let go of that. I totally took on this whole stop giving a fuck about stuff attitude a while back. And that really helped a lot. Like really helped me with creativity, with everything. You know, at the end of the day, it's not that you want to not care about things, but you want to just care about the things that really matter and care about them a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and then the things that aren't a big deal, just kind of who gives a shit. You know, I don't really give a fuck. So like, whatever, it's fine. And
Yeah.
I realized that this a lot of times I was just spending too much time worrying about little details in a song that only I would hear, and worried what someone else might think about the production level of this hi hat. And like, no one cares. Is it working?
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Like I mean, I just finished a couple. I just mastered a couple songs that had been on my computer. One of them was there for like 12 years, another one for like 7, and they're good. And I had some friends listening. They're like, "So what'd you ever do with this?" I was like, "Nothing. I just never finished it." They're like, "It's done. It's like super done. Like what's wrong with you?" I was like, "Yeah. I mean, I guess I could never add anything to it because it was done.
Right.
I didn't know what to put on it because it was done, but I was always worried that it just needed a little more. And in fact, that production I think is better than the shit I'm doing now because I was so meticulous about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the beats were laid out to the point where I was like leveling individual beats that they did something in a larger picture, scheme. Whereas now I'm like, that's more or less works, and like
Yeah.
let's just move. And I'll tighten it up if I really feel like it needs it, and that's got its place as well, But But you got to.
Well, yeah, that OCD though, that's part of. I mean, that's part of the package of an artist, right? Many times. Yeah. I mean, in terms of the because I do remember that it got to a thing that not just me, all of your friends, right? We went through that period with you of like, Jesus Christ, is this dude doing anything except being in his basement and spinning? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing here? It's like we'd get out for arcade games and espressos, and then like an hour later, it's like, hey, you know, let's shotgun some fucking bong hits, touch lips a little bit. Hey, that was fun. Okay, get out. I got to spin.
Will you light this 4-foot bong for me? Because I can't reach the bottom.
I can't reach the bottom. I'll blow you the hit, and then we got to go.
I remember when I moved to San Francisco with Cecily, my ex-girlfriend, from a long time ago, or to Berkeley, and for a summer because she decided to take some classes there, and of course, I just wanted to DJ. So I remember we'd get up, and I'd get up in my underwear and just put a record on, and she would go to class, and I would she'd come back like 6-7 hours later, and I was still in my underwear.
Be there in your fucking underwear.
I didn't even eat, and I was just like exhausted, like sweaty, dehydrated.
Yeah.
And like she was like, came home, she's like, "Have you eaten?" And I was like, "I don't know, what time is it?" I was like, I just was obsessed with it, you know, and because of that, you got good. You know, you got good at what you did. 'Cause I mean, I was fucking horrible because no one ever taught me.
Right.
Because DJs were so competitive back then. You know, I mean, no one taught you. Like now, everyone's like, "Oh, I'll teach you how to play." You teach your girlfriend how to play, your friend how to play, and like, it's no big deal. You teach them in like 45 minutes how to pretty much do everything. Whereas then it was like we were all so mean to each other. Yeah. I mean, in Denver, when I started playing, there was like 7 DJs, and they did not have any interest in anyone else being involved with that. And then we came along, there's another 8 of us or so, and they were just mean to us. No one taught us anything. I mean, it's interesting that we even later on it became like, okay, now it's us 15 people, but you know, it's just a weird thing back then.
Yeah, no, it's a wild scene. I'm who's supposed to be here? I'm talking to Musa at the end of hopefully at the end of October. I think we're going to talk at the end of October. And yeah, man, same kind of situation. Like he finally was just like, fuck all this shit. I'm not, you know, he opened a club and it got gentrified. Now I think it's a yarn shop or some bullshit. He had a barber shop that was working, and then the fucking COVIDs came. So he's doing this project. We're going to talk about it. It looks really good, but it's the same kind of thing. It's a DJ an artist, right?
Yeah.
Having to just reinvent themselves because that's what else are you going to do?
Well, you need to create. I mean, I need to get it out. I need to get something out, you know. And I've always considered myself more of a DJ than a producer. And my partner Steve's slowly taking me to the other side, which is probably healthy for me as well.
Yeah.
To start really focusing more on my production stuff. And I'm learning a lot from him. I mean, he's awesome, and I'm learning a lot from him. Like every single time we hang out, I learn something. I'm like, oh man, I've been doing this for so long, but I kind of knew that, but I just never really applied it properly.
Yeah.
And now how that works a bit better. And you just need to, you know, constantly express in one way or another. And I'm going to keep doing it. Once this is done or whatever, there'll be something else. You know, you always end up, I mean, you're doing you weren't a stand-up comic when I met you.
No.
You were rapping, writing rhymes, and now you're doing this. And like,
no, and I'm still rapping and writing rhymes too. But like I realized that like, I mean, because that was punchlines and what have you, right? And I would take a lot of time on stage to do the little like in between, like I'd be like, okay, 4 songs. And then I'd be like, okay, I need some time to talk to the audience. Hold on. I have to say some things. Hold on. I have some things to say.
Yeah.
And realized that that's not why people go to a concert.
No.
No one wants that.
That's different. That's a different industry.
That's a different thing. No one wants your jokey jokes about Dick Cheney's heart right now. How about let's just write jokes?
Exactly.
So yeah, and well, this was born in the pan. This was born in the pandy. This is pandy. Yeah, good, I was losing my shit.
Yeah,
I was losing my shit.
This show's only since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, no, it happened because of the pandemic. I was trapped in my flat. And, you know, I was like, fuck, because I was going out like 4 nights a week. I was actually gigging out of town.
Yeah.
We had just set up I just did the scouting for the venues to do the record. Right.
Yeah.
I was going out with my partner, Dahlia. We were going to do, I had a whole plan.
Yeah.
One comic on side A, one on side B, released only on vinyl, exclusive. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Different thing. And,
Oh, cool.
I realized I would lose my fucking shit. So
Yeah, of course. No, of
did
course,
this.
man. You need to get it out. And we're creative people. You have to get this stuff out one way or another. And if we
Yeah.
don't get it out, we'll do it in not healthy ways.
Very
You know what I mean?
quickly.
I've been there,
Yeah.
and that was fun too, but it's not as
Until it
profitable.
wasn't. Until it wasn't.
Exactly. Until you start, yeah, until it starts getting edgy.
Yeah. That's less fun. Well, listen, my friend, it's been fantastic to spend some time. You're across the globe, and you have a dinner date coming up. Is that right, or you just got back
No,
from your
no,
dinner thing?
I just got back from a dinner date. I'm a couple beers in, so.
Okay. All right. Good.
Hold on.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to keep you up all night. I do appreciate the time. What are you working on now? What do people need to know? Where do they need to find you? How do they see what you're doing?
All right, so I'm still doing my record label, Your Only Friend. I'm actually gonna kick that also because of the pandemic. I'm gonna kick that back off again. We have an EP with Detroit DJ Rick Wade and some various artist stuff, the ones I was telling you about. I'm still obviously gonna be doing Tres Manos forever, and but the main thing I've been working on now is this Jessica Saves project. We just put out an ambient album. You can actually find it on Spotify and everything now.
Excellent.
Jessica Saves is called Traveling Without Moving. Interesting name. And then we have another EP on that was on an ambient label, and another EP on Seven Villas that is called Unity 4, where we did 2 tracks, and this is a whole techno project. And now what we're going to be doing is the Jessica Saves lives. So
Nice.
that's that name came out perfectly because it was Jessica Saves, and then we're doing live shows, so we're like, oh, Jessica Saves lives, it's perfect. And
Love it.
yeah, so that's the next thing. So that's what I'm really, really focused on
Cool.
with my partner Steve Ferrand, who also used to run the label Your Only Friend with me.
Nice.
Um,
See, I
Yeah,
get it. I see what he did there. That's
exactly. And then
smart.
and one more thing is This and That, the label I work with, which is more of our big time stuff, which the parties we're going to be doing hopefully in Ibiza next year, since we didn't
Yeah.
do them this year. And all the big festivals like ADU, Miami Winter Music Conference, or whatever it's called now, Music Week, whatever.
Yeah, I
And all that.
don't know. I just know that sometimes you're in the States. Sometimes I see you on a plane. The crowd looks
Where-
large. I don't
Oregon, right?
know. I don't know from it. I don't know.
Are you
I-
in Portland?
Yeah, I'm in Portland. And we had just yesterday I was trying to describe your music, and I was like, well, I know that technically it is a branch of EDM. That's what I got on it. I
Totally
am not
wrong.
totally wrong. Would you please correct what I've said so that people know what the fuck is what? Because that was the other thing I said. I don't know shit about it. I feel it in my bones, but I don't all the way get it. Would you explain this to me?
Well, everything is, I guess it would be electronic music. EDM now is like its own thing, which is just really commercial, like over the top, like like really that kind
Okay.
of vibe. What I mostly have always been doing is underground house music.
Okay.
Yeah, underground and deep house music. And now we're doing just underground and deep techno stuff. So, or hopefully more banging techno stuff probably as well. But
Nice.
but
So what's the
unfortunately,
definition of underground? When we're saying underground, what are we talking about when we say underground?
it's unprofitable. Stuff from the heart, a bit abstract that people don't necessarily always get into,
Okay.
but it's cool. I just want to be cool, man.
Yeah. Artsy.
No, I really wish there's times I really wish I had like this commercial love for that commercial sound, because I mean I've been in it long enough. I'm just ready to sell out, man.
Yeah.
I want to bank it, but I just cannot do it. And the few
Yeah.
times I tried, I was like, "Ugh, no, I have to fix this.
No, if your
And,
heart's not there, you can't do it. There's no way.
Yeah, it's not me. I mean, God bless
There's no
them,
way.
and they're so lucky. But I'll chug along, and
Yeah.
It'll it or it won't, and I'm okay with that. That's
Yeah.
underground.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's the same everywhere then. That's exactly what the breaking point was for me, is that I realized people will actually pay me for jokes and no
Yeah,
one is paying for my little rappy raps.
yeah,
So they're enjoying them, but they're
yeah,
free to them. So,
yeah. And that's the thing with the music industry now. It's anyways the final product's free. Uh,
I mean, if
like
you're
you meet,
not throwing a party, what are you doing?
yeah, exactly. So you do events, and now that that's gone, I guess I'll just make techno. So, right on, man.
I'm an asshole. Accidental asshole. You got to know what flavor you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Tres Manos, thank you so much for spending some time under the philosopher's tree. I love you,
Yeah.
man. It's so wonderful to see you.
I love you too, man. Thanks for having
Please
me
take
out.
care of yourself. Yeah, absolutely. And appreciate, the time difference and everything else. And
Of course.
yeah,
It's
thank
just
you so much. Thank you for being
all
here.
right, man.
All
Take care,
right, y'all.
brother.
Give it up for Tres Manos one time.
Thanks everybody for listening. Ciao.
All right, family. You know what it's been? That was wonderful for me. I hope that was a little bit wonderful for you. That was a vicious time machine, showing me that my friend decided that he was going to go ahead and become devastatingly handsome and just leave me in the dust. But you know what? That's okay too. That's okay too. Because I also know what he looked like in his 20s. No, I'm kidding. He's lovely. Obviously, everything that you just saw about who that person is the truth. He's absolutely lovely. One of the most genuine people I've ever had the honor to know. And one of the folks who joined me under the first philosopher's tree, for which this has been so named. And this has been another episode of Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you so much for your participation. And if you would like to share some of your patronage, there are so many ways you could be a patron of this. The first doesn't cost anything. Just share it. Put it on your page. Do you know a weird homophobe who doesn't like brown people? Share it to them out of hate and spite. That's fine with me. They can write all over my page. That would be just great. Another way is if you wanted to and you had the available fundage, and there's no reason that you should. As we just discussed, we are all strapped right now. If you wanted to just drop $5 on it and do it without making a big commitment, you could do that at Venmo at Carlos-Wyndham. You could do that at Cash App at CK Wyndham. You could do that at PayPal/me.CKWyndham, WINDHAM, like the slaveholders who opened the hotels. No, like the jazz record. Yes. If you wanted to suggest a person who we should be talking to, or a thing we should be talking about, or you just wanted to complain because you didn't like anything that was said, reach out at smokeandmirrors.com. And nope, that's not right at all. I'm reading the wrong page entirely. Oh my God, it's like I've been smoking weed. Patreon is Smoke and Mirrors CCB if you want to become a patron. That's what I meant to say. If you wanted to reach out and say something, say it at smokeandmirrors@gmail.com. You can see us at IG, Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That's for comedy, culture, and bullshit. You can read and see my words at Twitter at Caballo Negrito. This has been an event produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. This is produced by Tracy Tatamy, and this has been Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Wash your hands. Please stay inside. And for fuck's sake, if you're going to go outside, would you please cover your mask hole? Nobody wants to smell what's coming out of there. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye. I love you. Bye.